This is the Backlog Exposed podcast with Kevin Lane and Joel Rubel, bringing you weekly discussions on gaming as well as quick insights into sports, entertainment, and anything else that they can think of. Be sure to check out the backlogexposed.com, where you can listen to the podcast and get links to Twitter, Discord, YouTube, and Facebook.
I'm Joe.
I'm Kevin.
And we are
The Backlog
Exposed.
Now, gear up and get ready because this backlog is about to be exposed.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 43 of The Backlog Exposed. I'm your host Kevin. Alongside me as always is the man, the master, the myth, the legend, the sniper himself, Sergeant Sniper Joe Rubel. Hey Joe, how you doing today?
What's up, man? Living the dream, as always.
Dream. Hey, you awake? You snoring? What's going on over there? What are you working?
Man, work 12 hours a day. I'm super tired.
Man, that's how we do it,
About
though.
30 minutes past my bedtime already.
Yeah, you could conk out on a Saturday night out at Twisted Sister concert.
I probably could, man. It is crazy. I'm old, man. Old.
Hey, light as a feather, stiff as a board, right?
That's shit. That is dumb.
That was a funny day, though, wasn't it?
That was stupid. I don't know what y'all were trying to get me to do.
So to set the tone here, one of the first times I really ever got to hang out with Joe, I mean, it was a couple times, but met his friend Colton, who he's a funny bastard. But so Colton, Joe, and I, and Colton had little baby Tay Tay, and we were the men watching the kids while the ladies went out. And we had some
idea.
drinks.
I don't know what the hell they were thinking.
Tay Tay has this voice of a dinosaur or something. She could just scream like a velociraptor. And but we kept her quiet. And we were watching Batman versus Superman, trying to get through that movie, 5.5 hours long. And we were just having a really good time. I mean, it wasn't even that we were drinking too much. It's kind of like a natural high when you're hanging out with some fun people. So we were really enjoying ourselves. And I just thought about, like, for some reason, when we were kids and you did that, like, light as a feather, stiff as a board. So to set the tone here, it's three guys don't really know each other super well. Well, me anyways. And I got me and Colton trying to pick Joe up, being light as a feather, stiff as a board. He's laying on the ground. We don't even know how we're doing it, if we're supposed to do it right or not. And little did I know that Joe had, like, broken shoulders at this point in his life, and we're over here trying to lift him the wrong way. We're laughing so damn hard because it was so silly, and in walks the girls while we're trying to lift him, saying light as a feather, stiff as a board. It was probably one of the funniest moments that I've had in a long time, and
It was
as silly
dumb.
as it sounds, you had to be there, I think.
They had no idea what the hell was going on.
But I had to clarify that because who knows? Who knows what people would think when we're talking about stiff as a board? You know what I mean?
Hey, man, it's a new era. It's all good.
That's right. That's right. Hey, so what you been playing these days?
Oh, man, I've obviously been playing Blackout. Still having fun with that. Since the last podcast, I've had 2 more wins with Team Ramtod. Before we go any further, I'm super pissed that my Elgato HD60S is not working because it was me and Adam playing. I had a sniper rifle. I was using the Outlaw, no scope. Ran over a hillside. Adam's shooting somebody, and I'm like, "Oh, there's a guy on a 4-wheeler." He's like, "Oh, I see him." And mind you, he was 296 meters away when I shot. No scope, collateral off the 4-wheeler. And as I go to save it, I pull up the PlayStation to save the video. When I pull it up, it was rendering the video, and Adam was getting shot at, so I closed it down real quick, ran up there, helped him kill some guys. When I came back, the video was gone, so I have no proof of it. All I have is me and Adam laughing and talking about it, because that part of the video saved. All it was me laughing.
All you got is some memories, man.
Dude, but when I shot, there was nobody there. They were already over the hill between the trees. I just shot between the trees, got a collateral on the 4-wheeler. It was the craziest shot I've ever had.
That's awesome. Well,
yeah, we've been playing Blackout, a lot. Me and Adam just started playing Far Cry New Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
That
you got the new one?
Yeah, it's fun, man. We beat the shit out of Far Cry 5, and it's fun. It's a lot different than Far Cry 5, but this is set 17 years after the nuclear, doomsday in Hope County. So like, you go back, you're going back in, and you got these crazy animals that's been mutated, and the city's all jacked up, and whatever weapons you have to make from scrap. One of the weapons you start out with is I can't even remember what it's called. It's like a buzzsaw, I think it is. It shoots saw blades, but you're using like the throttle on a motorcycle, and it's crazy. Everything you make in that game is from scrap metal. Even your helicopter the first one you make is held on by like bubble gum and duct tape and prayers. But it's fun. It's not a full game like Far Cry 5 was a full on $60 game. This one was only $40. It's like I'd say maybe a half or maybe 3/4 of a full game. It's just like it's like a huge DLC basically.
Okay.
And it's fun, man. We're having a good time with it. Adam bought the game, and they did a few things in this one versus Far Cry 5 that I didn't like. In Far Cry 5, you could level up enough to where you can unlock the attack helicopter, and you and your duo partner could roam Hope County and the helicopters and just destroy everything. Well, now you have to save up a shit ton of materials to make one. But before you do that, you got to have your prosperity, which is your base, has to be level 3, and there's a lot of work that goes into it to get the attack helicopter. So I just bought it. You can buy it for $10, or it's actually I paid $10 for 1,000 Far Cry coins or whatever whatever the microtransactions are these days. But I bought it for $10 because Adam bought the game, and it just makes everything more fun. You can fly around and shit on stuff with attack helicopter and all that. I think we're about 4 hours in. I've played so far, and I enjoy it. I don't like playing it by myself. I never have liked playing those games by myself. So if Adam's not on, I don't play. I think it's fun as hell though. Shooting shit, animals, fishing and hunting, stuff like that.
I've always loved the Far Cry games, and what's weird is I don't feel the drive to go out and buy it right away, and I don't feel the need to. Well,
Adam bought it right away because Far Cry 5 was amazing. That game was fun as hell. I mean, there was so much to do. All the missions were fun.
Yeah. Well,
we just
what
played
I was going to say. What I was going to say is that I don't have that initial like, oh, I got to play the next Far Cry. But then the second I turn these games on and I start playing them, I can't play nothing else. And I even liked Primal a lot after playing Far Cry. I think it was 4. And
I've only played Far Cry 5. I played Far Cry 5 because that was the first co-op Far Cry, and then I'm playing Far Cry New Dawn because obviously it's a co-op game. But I haven't played any of the other Far Cries.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine you should be just fine going in and playing at least 4 and Primal. It's not going to screw with your storyline or anything, and they're just good games. I mean, they have that classic, get to the tower, see the area, craft some stuff. Nothing too complicated, and they definitely have a unique battle system that you see in a lot of other games. They've kind of I think Far Cry kind of led the charge with those style of games. There's
a bunch of them, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fun. I mean, the fighting or the shooting and stuff's a little different. There's auto aim, which is actually pretty neat. You can go from target to target fairly quick. This game's like real nice though. The graphics are ridiculous, real colorful because it's 17 years after a nuclear explosion, so it's like everything's coming back to life of it. After being dead for 17 years, so everything's real colorful and it's awesome.
Yeah, I was going to say
some of the animals are weird as shit though.
One of the cool things I like, some games you need to really pay attention to the story, to really get in there and figure out the mechanics and the crafting and all that. Far Cry's the kind of game where I don't mind jumping in and cheating a little bit if I have to, going on the internet to find out what I got to do next if it's necessary. But generally, it's not. It's an easy enough game just to kind of breeze through.
Yeah,
and
it is,
and
that's one of the things I do like about it. It's kind of a jump on you. And it's one of those games you can play for like 3 hours and enjoy it, jump off for 4 days, jump back on for 3 hours and enjoy it. And it's just one of those games you can go back into and play back and forth.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's pretty cool. I know tonight. I think it's tonight or tomorrow. I know it's the 22nd. I'm sorry. Is Anthem. So today is the 20th.
Yeah. Friday.
And so Friday we'll be playing some Anthem. It's getting, we talk about this quite a bit, but I'm so sick of seeing people immediately trash a game that's not even finished. What people don't seem to
look at Fortnite, dude. Fortnite's not even finished yet. It's still in early access for the last 3 years. Like,
I love that. No, but like,
can they at least just remove that damn sign? Like, what is the point?
I want to get that taken care of because that pisses me off more than anything, man. I actually was looking at that yesterday. Early access.
I was too. My son was playing. I'm like, early access? Hot damn. How early are we getting access to this 3-year-old game?
I can't wait for the final version. But
no shit, right? Like, what's the final version going to be, man? Like, holy crap.
But so like people are looking at Anthem and they played the beta and they played the pre-alpha or whatever and they're shitting on it. And this is what drives me nuts, especially being in the industry where I've done testing and things on products and software and whatnot. A beta is not the final version. Now, this is EA. And again, I don't want to sound stupid here. We understand EA tends to send out broken products and fix them later or, promote the hell out of something, but really only go half-assed for it. I think I played enough of the beta to get a mindset that this should be a pretty decent game. I mean, I don't know why people have to set bars against it. Oh, this is Destiny with a different, cover to it or whatever. It's a different game. It's not made by the same people who made Destiny. Maybe it has a similar play style, but give it a chance. I mean, you trash it before you even get to play it, or you play a beta and you trash it. That's not the point of a beta. A beta is for them to be able to iron out the last kinks and the last defects and the last bugs. Now, if you play the game, you don't like the mechanics and the way the controller feels or the storyline itself that you've been introduced to, sure, but what I see is people hating the format of what Anthem is. Not everybody. I'm just talking about the specific people I've seen.
Just in general, man, it's people. Like,
yeah, people were let down by Destiny, and then Destiny 2 came out. People were let down again, and then Forsaken came out, and then they said, this is what it should have been. Well, when Forsaken came out, Anthem was already years of development. Anthem's been being developed for quite some time. So, sure, maybe Anthem 2 will be the game you expect, but I'm expecting a game that feels like I'm Iron Man flying around a beautiful looking place. The graphics look awesome, and I'm hoping the storyline is solid. I hope it leads to a new IP that people can get behind. But if you trash it before you even see it, or before you really get to play the actual version of it, or if you just see some guy play it online and trash it, and you piggyback off of that and go to Reddit or forums and start trashing it because it's fun to trash things, people need to smarten up and wake up.
I think we played like 3 hours of the beta. And I told Adam, I was like, dude, I like it. I'm not playing more of the beta. I wanna play the beta, understand it, I like it. I'm done. I want to play the game now. You know what I mean? I feel like I don't want to waste my time in it.
Yeah, I want to get your opinion on this. Like, some games feel like a money grab where they're just putting a game together and it's not.
Yeah,
they
Apex and Blackout. That's all they're doing is money grab, dude.
Well, yeah, I mean Fortnite too, but I mean
Fortnite. Yeah, I mean all of them are now.
But at least those games have a substance. I'm talking about like some of these VR titles, or like if you remember the Nintendo Wii, where there were just so many games that were garbage.
They were just throwing games out left and right because they took them 10 minutes to make. You know what I mean? But these games are taking
game called Ranch Planet.
They're taking years to make these games right now, and it's just like they're a waste of. A lot of these games, man, they're flopping on them.
Seriously, and when I played, just to reference this, what I'm referring to, like there's a game called Ranch Planet, cost $10 or something like that or whatever on the PlayStation VR. It's a joke of a game. There's not a genre that anybody would classify this game in, and there's no group of people or target audience that would really pop that in and be like, this is the best game I've ever played. There's not a single entity that would be putting on a VR headset that would get serious enjoyment out of that game, and it was just a money grab. But then you have a game like the Vendetta game, I forget the full, Preda Vendetta, where the developers, just 3 guys or 4 guys, put their lives into this, threw away every other project they had, put all their money and time into it. It turned out to be a pretty solid game that had some issues that like longevity and things. The game was a little bit too long and repetitive in some aspects, but the game was beautiful and it had a really good gameplay. Game got shit on, you never even hear it be talked about, and it's like $10 more than freaking Ranch Planet. And the Ranch Planet company's pumping out games left and right, but these other guys can't even work on their game to fix it because they lost all their money. And that's when you look at a game like Anthem, maybe it's EA, and we all say EA is bad, but you know what? EA puts out visually some of the most stunning games I've ever seen. You look at Battlefront, you look at Battlefield, you look at Anthem, and now Apex Legends, for what it's worth, looks pretty damn good in its own right. EA might have some negative situations with how they present their games and how they, what they put into their games, and then the loot crate system. But look, EA is a huge company with a board of directors. They have to maximize their profits. They have to.
Yeah, I mean, that's every game now. But the whole microtransaction really getting out of control, man.
It is, and we as a customer base,
Fortnite started it, but they have you can get certain things out of it. I get it. You want skins and all this other bullshit. But like Blackout jumped on board. Now they have different chests you can buy in Blackout.
Joe, so Fortnite's a free game. You don't have to pay anything. Blackouts, people who jumped on board, I paid $100. I got the premium edition of Call of Duty 4. Other people paid $60, and now you can get it for $40 or $35 sometimes on sale. But you're buying the game. Now you have to buy the battle passes. You have to buy, if you want the, just like Fortnite, if you want the skins and the schematic, all the characters and everything, you gotta spend the bucks, right?
I know that, and it's getting out of hand, man.
But now they've added the loot
free
crates.
Game I get. Now you're paying, like you said, $100 for the game, but yet they're still wanting $10, $5, $15. Yeah. But it's all cosmetic, and people are buying.
I'm okay with that format 100% for games like Fortnite, and I hope 100 different Fortnites come out, where you can play it for free and it's a great game. But if you want to have a cooler experience or personalize it, pay a little bit. I'm all for that, and I'll pay money to that. I don't mind if it's a good game. I don't mind giving the developers some money, getting some cool customizations. Fortnite is literally the biggest overkill on it I've ever seen, but at the same time, it works, and we don't have to do it to play and enjoy the game. So
yeah,
I like that.
What I've noticed about Fortnite is all they do is remap stuff. Like, you may have all these new skins come out, but it's the same skin, just changed colors.
Oh yeah. They're getting
like,
smart,
dude,
man.
What the hell?
But when you look at a game that you have to pay for, and they start doing that inside there, I mean, back in the day when you bought Mortal Kombat, you had Mortal Kombat, and you had every character possible, and you might have had to.
There was no other
throw a cheat code in, get Noob Sabot or whatever. But now it's like,
oh, dude, that was my dude right there, though.
Yeah, that's right. But buy the game now, and you get 8 characters, and pay to unlock Freddy Krueger and this and that, and it's just a little too much. I mean, it's we as a customer base, as a client, or whatever you want to call us, players, we gotta start truly revolting against the loot crate system, in my opinion. Yeah, dude. Especially in games.
I 100% agree, dude. Like, people need to stop buying that shit.
But see, the people are seeing, like Call of Duty developers, or I'm sorry, whatever they're called, the people who finance it, the financiers of Call of Duty are seeing, oh, Fortnite's working really well. We're Call of Duty. We can do whatever the hell we want. We own this space. And then you look, I mean, I know I love Blackout. I think Blackout's a fun game. I'm going to continue to play it, especially with you guys, because it's a lot of fun. And I know a lot of people are playing the game, but there's something about Blackout that isn't getting people pumped up to watch it on on Twitch and YouTube. And when you look at the numbers, they're falling every week, unfortunately. Now, I don't doubt that they're going to do something to change that, but they're probably biding their time. I know that they just added the loot crates, but I think that they're probably waiting to do something major after battle.
Well, they just came out with that big update too, though. So now they added some more maps to the multiplayer. They added a place to the Blackout map. They added some police vehicles to the Blackout. They changed the weapons. They added some more weapons. They also added the fact that, let's say you have a fully decked out, Titan, and you found it. It's a Titan Tactical, has every attachment on it, and you walk up the road and you find a Rampart. Well, instead of going in the menu, dropping all your attachments in the gun, picking up the Rampart, picking up all your attachments, that could take, I don't know, roughly 15, 20 seconds, right?
Yep.
In those 15 or 20 seconds, you're sitting there like a duck. Well, now they changed it to where you have you have a Titan Tactical, and you walk up on a Rampart, you hold one button, and you swap all your attachments to the new gun, and you continue on. Probably takes you 2 seconds.
That's perfect, and they had to do that because when Apex Legends came out, that's one of the first things that I noticed was one of the reasons I like Fortnite is the ease of, you see the gun, you know what it is, and you pick it up and that's it. I'm not a huge fan personally. I know a lot of people are, and I don't. I'm not discrediting this process, but I personally don't care for having to put the different scopes and this and that on it. So when I get a gun loadout,
I like all that because it gives you that little bit of advantage. So if you have a plain SWAT and you have a fully decked out SWAT, you have an advantage, right? And I like having that advantage. That means you've done a little bit more looting, or you got a little more luckier. The only thing I don't like about Blackout is the armor. They just need to get rid of it. They need to get rid of armor and have trauma kits. That's all you need. Your max health is 150. You take a trauma kit, you can get 200 health. That's it. Because, matter of fact, 2 days ago, me and Adam was playing.
You can heal your armor now too. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, you can heal your armor. Me and Adam was playing, and we had, I want to say, 7 kills between us. And a guy with tier 3 came around the corner, and I hit him from 200 with tier 3 all the way down to about 30 health. But yet he killed me because I had tier 2 armor or tier 1 armor on or whatever. But he was missing all the shots, and I just kept dinging him, man. And, if he'd had no armor on and just 200 health max, he'd have been dead before he came around the corner.
Well, what about... Go ahead, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I'm just the armor itself, in my opinion, they're always bitching and griping about they need to nerf this gun or nerf this gun. They don't need to nerf the guns. Like, people are bitching and griping because the sniper rifles hit too hard. It's a fucking sniper rifle, man.
Well, do you remember
they're not shooting Tic Tacs. They're shooting sniper rifle bullets, man. That's what it's meant to do.
Yeah, and I think it was World War II.
If they pull that shot off from 350 meters away and hit you in the face, guess what? You should die. But no, you got tier 3 armor on, and it just takes your armor, or whatever. It's the armor in the game has given it a handicap. And I don't like it.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest, like, what if you recall, like World War II or one of those other games where you got that power up and you're like a battle tank walking around, right? You can take a lot more damage, but you're walking kind of slow. I mean, I think there should be some kind of, with every positive, there should be a little bit of a negative. For example, you pick up a sniper rifle, you can't shoot close range. You pick up an Uzi, you can't shoot far away. Everything kind of has a counterbalance, but armor doesn't. Armor is like, you pick up armor, you're better off than those who don't have armor. Straight up.
Exactly.
Well,
it is. That's
what
true.
If like,
I don't like that.
Well, I was gonna say, what if like the tier 3 armor is a little bit stronger than it is today, but you can't run? And what if the tier 2 is you run as is, like you run, but you can't run for long or something?
Well, see, that's something actually good you bring up, because if you have tier 1, tier 2, or 3 on, you run the same speed, you don't slow down at all.
And that's what I mean. Like, tier 3, you're kind of just lucky if you get tier 3. And not many people can get tier 3 in a game because there's not everyone's, it's not dropping everywhere. So the people who do just have that advantage with no negativity added to it. And I think that would be one way, because personally, if it slowed me down, I would either only take tier 1 or I would forego it if it had any negative impacts. And I don't know. It's things like that where like for I was listening to the Fortnite podcast, and they're talking about how this state of Fortnite is kind of universally being accepted as one of the best states that it's been in. And one of the only negative things that they can call upon is that the Stormwing, which is the plane, still exists, and a lot of the competitive scene could do without that. Now they nerfed it, and so it can't just like crash through buildings, and there's some things, but I think that's when I started having the decline in Fortnite myself, and I don't have the same drive to play it. Apex, I have a drive to play Apex, and I actually have a drive to play Blackout. It's just having the time right now because of all the moving and other crap that I'm dealing with. But yeah, I mean, with all this going on, with Apex's surge and kicking everyone's ass in Twitch, and they're not paying the people anymore, from what I understand, but the people are just playing it because they like it. Now, get this, Joe. During the same time that Apex launched, there was a Fortnite event called the Secret Skirmish, and I guess it was like a 12-day getaway. They took a bunch of streamers and flew them all to a remote location. I have no idea why this is even important or special in any way, shape, or form, but probably on their own end, because they were whining and dining a lot of these Fortnite players like Tfue and Nick Merckx and whoever. But not every one of them got called into this Secret Skirmish. They took 100 players and did a 2-day event. The first day was duos, and the second day was a solos. And they gave away $400,000 over the weekend. Well, Apex Legends launched during that time. And so these players were off doing this Fortnite thing while Apex comes along, and it's a pretty good game. And one of the key takeaways here is that it, like you said last week on your podcast, Joe, and you were 100% right, it's not Fortnite. You can't really compare the two. But what you can do is say, did it break the curse? Now, you had it. I had it a lot longer than you. But there's a spell that some of these games put on you, Fortnite included, where you kind of just can't play anything else. You put on your PlayStation, you put on your computer, that's the game you're going to, automatic. We have this whole show is called The Backlog, and we do nothing but talk about a couple specific games. And I like that because those are the games that matter right now. But how are we ever going to tackle the backlog if we're addicted to a specific type of game? And I think that's what Apex did for a lot of these players, especially the streamers who are getting sick of playing Fortnite every day. Maybe they want to play a different game, and now a different game came out, and they're all saying, hey, this is pretty damn good. And not only that, but they have people to play with. So it's not just Ninja playing by himself, solos. He has to go out and get 2 other people that want to play that game, and he can easily find it. So
I think that's one of the things that they did that for, honestly. Man, they got tired of seeing one specific person try and take over or master the game. Now it's like, well, you're good. Now you got to play with 2 other people.
Yep.
I mean, I watched I watched Dr. Disrespect and Shroud play the other day, and I forgot the third person they were playing with. They all knew each other.
Yeah, and, Dr. Disrespect plays with Viss a lot and Crafty.
That was him, yeah. Vissa, or what was it? Whatever his name is.
Viss, yeah.
And Shroud was talking, or Dr. Disrespect was talking about, I think I have so many wins. And Shroud started laughing, like, oh, so you guys are keeping track of your wins. And Dr. was like, man, I don't even like you. Why are we, man? Like, you're such a And he was like, no, I'm just being honest. Like, I don't really keep track of my wins anymore in any game. I'm just like, I'm thinking to myself, like, no shit, dude, because Shroud's so that good.
Yeah, Shroud is really good. So those two, I don't know if you're familiar with a little bit of their backstory, but they're really close, I guess. I think they're personal friends, or at least keep in contact. And a lot of that is just the character where he trashes Shroud. Oh, yeah,
Shroud, Dr. Disrespect's real good friend. I've read a couple of different articles about how they...
Yeah, they did a lot of competitive gaming together and everything. But it's funny because Shroud is no character. He's just him. When you watch him game, he's just him.
Shroud is a straight geek, bro. I like it. He don't
straight up. I like watching him.
Front on. He don't give a shit either. And he's even said that. I mean, I've seen him say, "If you don't like it, get out of my channel." Like, I'm me. I'm not changing it. I'm not holding back the fuck bomb, the F bomb, this bomb or that bomb. This is my channel, and I'm gonna run it the way I want to run it. If you don't like it, go watch somebody else.
That's perfect. And
that's why I like him, dude, because he don't give a shit.
to me, Joe, I want to get your opinion here because you've been casting now and not casting. You've been streaming for a while now, and you just get on and you play and you talk to your audience when they're there. But you're still growing your channel, and we're gonna make it. I would say a tier 3 or tier 4 channel coming up pretty soon. As soon as you get that Elgato, if you're listening, Elgato, let's hurry it up, buddies. But
No kidding.
so one of the things I really find in contrast here is Shroud and Dr. Disrespect are both some of the most powerful and popular streamers. Obviously, Dr. Disrespect has had his fall off a little bit, but he's gaining again. And he's never not been part of the discussion. Ninja's always there and all that. But Shroud jumps on. It doesn't matter what game he's playing. The guy's getting 100,000 viewers. And
he had 138,000 people watching him play Apex.
Yeah. And the guy there's nothing flashy about Shroud. His camera isn't that special. He gets up and goes piss without even saying, I'll be right back. All he's doing is playing a game and you're watching him. And he's good. Yeah. He's consistent, and it doesn't matter the game he's playing, he's involved, and he's one of the best, right?
Matter of fact, I'll tell you a funny story. I was just watching Shroud a couple weeks ago. I'm not even kidding. They're playing Blackout, and he was getting a security system put in his house. So he was playing the game. I think he had like 14 kills, something stupid. And they won the game or they lost the game. I can't remember what happened at the end. But anyway, they went into the lobby, and he got a phone call. He just got up, talked on his phone, and one of his buddies just jumped in the chair. He's like, oh, shit, man. Okay, this is weird. Like, his sensitivity is weird. His control's weird. Whatever, I'll play. And he jumped in there, and he got 3 or 4 kills. No big deal. Like 10 minutes later, Shroud walked back in. Not talking to the audience, but hey, man, go get us some pizza. I'm kind of hungry. I already paid for it. You just have to pick it up. Just being his normal stuff.
Yep.
And started playing, and then got back up again and was on the phone with the security camera guys, and he don't care. Like, he's not there, honestly, to interact with the audience. He will interact if, you ask questions or something catches his eye, but you hardly ever see him looking in the camera or anything, man. He's just playing because he wants to play, and there's 100,000 people watching.
And that's what I think is so fascinating is that you have, just like in anything that happens, there's a couple different things that catch people's eye. TV shows, it doesn't have to be flashy if it's a good story, but at the same time, something really flashy might be awesome even if the story sucks. Think about some movies out there that are like that. Now, Dr. Disrespect he's really good, but at the same time, he's not Shroud good. And
he's over the top.
He's over the top with his character so much that you can't look away. He's got, for 2019, he really pumped up what he was going to do for 2019, and his channel got a makeover. He has a lot of side cuts now where, for one thing, he talks to a mirror. He set it up so he can talk to himself in the mirror, and he gets a phone call, and he pretends like he's in a phone booth receiving a secret phone call. He has all these like little vignettes that he does that are live. He just cuts to these scenes, and he gets up and he puts so much time and effort into his stream. And it's funny when you see Dr. Disrespect getting 30 to 40, maybe 50,000 people watching him, and he's putting all this time and work and effort into it, and he's playing the same exact game on probably a system that's just as good. And then you look over at Shroud, and he's just sitting there playing, doesn't give a shit about production.
Sitting there playing in a blacked out chair. Don't even have any name on the chair. It could be a fucking Walmart chair for all I know.
Yep.
Wearing. Every time I've seen him, he's just wearing plain headphones. I don't know what brand they are, and he's in a Walmart looking T-shirt.
Yep.
And there's always random people just walking through his stream in the back, and that's it, man. That's Shroud for you.
And that's just so awesome. Like, that is people's dream right there, to be able to make millions or however many thousands or whatever. I'm sure he's making millions, but to be able to do that on your own time, your own pace, and have that kind of volume. Now, between you and I, personally, one of the things I'm working on heavily is as I'm, Joe told y'all last week, I moved, and finally, thankfully, that's, most of it's done, as in I got all my stuff in the new house. Now it's got to be sorted out, unpacked, and organized. But I have an office. I'm calling it a studio, but really it's just a room that I'm setting up to make appropriate visual changes, so that when I get my Twitch stream going, I'm hoping that it looks really good and the production value is really high. Whether or not that drives a lot of people to watch, if anybody, that's my hope. Is that I have a quality product that people want to watch and see, and that might counterbalance my my inability to make those headshots. But hopefully my gaming gets better as well as I fix whatever the hell's wrong with my hands. But on the flip side, I was going to say on your stream,
they're going to fix you like Doctor Strange, bro.
I know, huh? On your stream, from what I've seen so far, it's just you playing. You're like Shroud, man. You're just playing and you're kicking ass and you're winning and you're hitting your shots.
I mean, if you ever go to my Twitch channel and look at some of my live streams, you'll notice my crazy ass kids will come down from time to time and dance on the camera, or they'll show off their Fortnite outfit Grandma got them. And
what I can't wait for, Joe, what I can't wait for is the day you have 1,000 people watching you. Because one of the most important things that I think you have in your qualities is your personality. And you get to talk here, but I got to tell the audience this, is there's nobody like Joe hanging out with this guy, being able to go out and just sit back and chat and talk and all that is some of the funnest times I've ever had in my life, doing nothing, just sitting there having a beer. And I can't wait for the look on your face when you have 1,000 people watching you, and just to see and hear, your swagger come out a little bit. Because that's what
I was playing the other day and I had 7 or 8 people watch. No, I had 9 people watching, dude. And I was like, awesome. That was 9 people.
It's exciting, man. That's exciting. Now imagine that number starts climbing and climbing. All of a sudden you look down, you have 140 or something. I mean, you're gonna lose your shit.
It'd be so fucking awesome.
So I can't wait for that day, and I think we're both gonna get there. I think we gotta balance each other out and work together a little bit to make it happen, because there's a lot of rooms already full for streaming. You gotta either get lucky or
it's a tough industry, man. I mean, you got to be lucky, and it's not even about being good. There's 100 streamers right now I can pull up on Twitch that's not even a tenth as good as Shroud, but they're averaging 4,000 to 6,000 views of stream. I mean, to me that's badass. I don't need 84,000 people. Matter of fact, Shroud's got 81,000 right now. I don't need 81,000 people. I'll take 500.
Yeah.
I'll take 50. You know what I mean? Just to have that, just to say, damn, there's 50 people watching me play this game.
Well, it's kind of like our podcast here.
When me and Adam start playing, and 99.9% of the time, we are always talking about some stupid shit.
Oh man,
we're laughing.
It's a blast. That's exactly the point. Like the enjoyment. Like when you fucking blew up those 2 dudes with that rocket launcher. I mean, I know we probably already talked about it, but that was like the funniest thing. And it's like your reactions. That's the best part. I mean, I wish it was
Dude, I totally forgot about that. That shit's hilarious. I need to find that video. I think I recorded it, but yeah. Dude, that was me and you. And I'm like, walking around. You're like, where are you going, dude? You got a rocket launcher out. I'm like, I'm out of bullets, man. It's either me or them.
No bullets, and he had 1 rocket. And there's 2 guys behind a rock, and they were shooting him. And he like bob and weaved the bullets, goes running around, does a jumping rocket launcher 360, or I don't know if it was a 360, but a jumping rocket launcher. And he thought he only got one of the guys. He thought the other guy ran off. Now I was dead, so I was watching through his perspective. And he's over here searching for the other guy, like literally running around the rock 100 times trying to like find the other guy. But I'm like, Joe, you blew them both up. They both turned to dust. And he was laughing. We were laughing so hard because it's just one of those moments like, damn, you got them both just so instant, like kind of like the Bowie knife. Just those classic.
Damn, that was
moments,
me and you and Adam, man. I had 5 Bowie
Yep.
knife kills, right? I mean, all 5 in a row. It was crazy.
So
Some of my
Yeah.
funniest things though will be, Adam will have a sniper rifle. I have a sniper, and a lot of times Adam's like, "Dude, there's a guy right here in the field sitting still. Get him!" And I'm like, "Adam, you have a sniper rifle too?" He's like, "I don't care, dude. You can shoot better. Majority of the time, just shoot him." And when we'll shoot him. The other day, we were both sniping, and every now and then, man, you just get on the same page. And me and Adam both saw this dude running up the hill, and he just so happened to stop at the top of the hill for some reason. And I'm not even kidding you, man. Adam shot and I shot not even half a second apart, and we killed him. Because Adam shot him and probably took all of his health, but maybe just a few, maybe 30 or 40 health left, and then I hit him instantly and killed him. Adam was like, "What the hell just happened?" I was like, "Dude, I shot the guy right as you shot him." And that shit to me is fun, and we laugh. That's the fun parts about, playing games. You can do some shit that shouldn't be done, like shooting a guy. Like my longest snipe right now is 375 meters.
Damn.
I shot that dude who looked like an ant on the screen
Oh yeah, that's
when
right.
I shot him.
So thinking about that and thinking about like even the games that kind of annoy us now, or the games that we're not on top of the world with. I mean, I can think back to Battlefield Bad Company 2, playing with some friends, and I can just recall the times of like just having so much fun sniping in Battlefield. And you could snipe from so far out, and you could see the bullet kind of carry and drop, and dink, guy's dead, and you're like just laughing so hard. I mean, gaming with friends and gaming with people you can really enjoy talking to is a blessing, and I think that is one of the biggest takeaways for me as a dad gamer and an adult still playing video games, and I'll be playing them till the day I die or my arms fall off, which one of them's going to happen
Could be
first.
next week.
Yeah, I know. And but I just think back to those times, and I'm glad and I'm thankful to have you to be able to play with, and a few other friends. As Jed moved off to Italy, I won't be able to play with him for quite some time, years. And so think about that. This is to the listeners. Think about that, and think about who you enjoy playing with, or maybe people you used to play with, and reach out. I mean, a lot of these games are trying to get these cross platforms. I know when you switched from Xbox to PlayStation, or PlayStation to Xbox, or if you play PC, the one thing I do have to appreciate Fortnite for is the push for cross platform play. And I see that Apex is working on it. And if Apex can get it, and then you got that soccer game, the car saw, I forget what it's called, but
Rocket League.
These games are they should all. I mean, imagine if you could play Madden crossplay and all those things. I mean, bringing the communities together only enhances the esport aspect. It enhances the marketability of the games themselves and the community. And I know people that still play, but they play on Xbox, and I just don't play on Xbox that often. And I remember those fun times. And I really I hope that the communities can push out these transactions, these crappy loot box type transactions, pay to play, pay to win, pay to win.
But I mean, as much as we hate it, and we're always talking shit about it, dude. You can't be mad at it.
No, I get it from a marketing perspective.
If I were to invent a phone, whatever, and I sold this phone for $5, and 1 million people bought it, I'm like, shit, that was easy. Let me make the same phone, but change the color to blue, and I'm gonna sell it for $7, and 2 million people bought it.
Well, that's exactly what happens.
I'm making a red phone. I'm selling that bitch for 15, and 20 million people bought it. You can't be mad.
No, but here's where you can be mad. Here's where you can be mad. You remember Mongoose bicycles?
I used to have one, man.
Yeah.
Now, out of that thing
when Mongoose first came out, Mongoose was the top of the line. I mean,
yeah, they were. If you had a Mongoose bike, dude, you're either rich or you stole it.
Yeah, and so maybe there's some better bikes. I'm sure racers and actual professional bike people would disagree with me, but at the time, I was we're talking late 80s, early 90s, if maybe a couple years later, I don't know. And but Mongoose was the shit, and like you said, you had to be rich or special. Well, Walmart really wanted Mongoose bicycles in their stores. And if I can recall correctly, and I'll probably have some of this wrong, but the gist of it's the same, is that the Mongoose owner said, no, we can't. We cannot make our product in a way that would allow it to sell for the price you want to sell it for in your Walmart store. And Walmart came back and said, we want your Mongoose bikes in our store. And Mongoose said no. And then Walmart came back again, and whatever time it was an offer that the Mongoose creator could not refuse. And so in order to make a bicycle and put the name Mongoose on it and sell it at Walmart for the price that they wanted to sell it for, things had to change. And so the quality of the bike had to change. And it was no longer the Mongoose that you and I knew as a kid. It was now a Chinese knockoff Mongoose, but it was a Mongoose.
Like a Walgoose.
Yep. And so exactly, Walgoose. And that's what happened. The product was changed, and it was changed forever. You can still buy Mongoose bicycles at Walmart probably, and it's not the same anymore. They had to.
Oh, yeah. And you can tie that same story back into Fortnite, like you're saying. When Fortnite first came out, it was a good game. I enjoyed it, but they kept adding all this stupid shit to the point where the game has lost its idea, and they just throwing shit on it, like the airplane. Come on, man! Really, we're flying airplanes now, and now they're on hoverboards. It's like, come on.
Exactly. Well, it's funny because like someone like Jed, who was never really, he played a lot of Fortnite, but he played a lot of his other games too, and someone like Jed wasn't going to keep coming back to Fortnite because for them, it was a running simulator. And that was like the biggest negative that people had to say about Fortnite in its early days was, oh, it's just a running simulator till you die. Well, get better, and it's not. But instead of getting better, they changed the game so that people could get around faster. Instead of making the island more accessible or, whatever. I see the zip lines, for example. I'm okay with the zip lines. I don't like the fact that they put them in there without really, all of a sudden one day there's 1,000 zip lines. But
yeah.
But at the same time, I like that feature more than I like, say, the planes. I think the planes, the hoverboards, all these mobility items take away from the original feel of the game where if you're in someone's sights, you can't just be gone in 2 seconds. I mean, nowadays, if you're in someone's sights in Fortnite, you could be across the map, the entire map, in like less than a minute. I watch Tfue and all these other players, with their four-wheelers, and they literally just build a ramp and they can fly across the entire map with their four-wheeler. And it's that kind of stuff that just says it's stupid, and everyone who can figure out these glitches and whatever just has an edge. It's kind of like when you used to play Call of Duty and you could wall walk. I don't know if you remember
dude,
Modern Warfare 2. Yeah, and I used to be able to get outside the map.
Or get outside the map on, Rust and crash and start.
And then you're just sitting there shooting them, and they can't shoot through the wall, but you can shoot through the wall from your side, and you could just kill everybody. And it's like that. It's like when you have such a confidence and such a skill set. I mean, if the only thing I did every day was shuffle a deck of cards, eventually I'd be a master deck shuffler. Well, these people are master Fortnite players. And I love it. I love the fact that you can get there. I love watching it. Same with Call of Duty. Same with now Apex and many of these other games that can actually be competitive and fun to watch. What I don't like is taking a base game that has such a simple process, a simple format, and then every week tweaking it to surprise everybody so that they can tweet about it and so that they can talk about it. They added a sword. Oh, they took away the sword. Oh, they added planes. Oh, they nerfed the planes. Oh, they took away the grenades. Oh, they added, bounce bombs. And it's like,
oh, they put the clingers back in. Oh, they vaulted the SMG. Oh, we got a new sniper. Yeah, it's every fucking week.
And that's the kind of stuff, like, for me, who I don't have the time to play religiously like these Twitch streamers, it just changes the game to a point where if like you haven't played in 8 weeks, like say you've just been away and you jumped into Fortnite now, you'd be like, what the fuck is going on here? And you would have to get back into it. I just going away for a week and a half, 2 weeks, jumping into Fortnite. And while, yeah, most of the game is the same, it's like, you have to, if you don't read all the patch notes and you don't keep up with all the defects and bugs, you're at a severe disadvantage. You might think, hey, the planes are awesome. And there's nowhere, unless you go online and read the patch notes, that says that plane can't crash through those buildings anymore. You know what I mean? So like what you're used to
100%.
just changes. And, if you don't read the patch notes, then, hey, there's a sword and a guy running around the fucking map who can jump across buildings and crush sword. Like, what is going on? There's like one little notification. Hey, we've added a boogie bomb. Cool. But
yeah, I think Fortnite was just pushing as much stuff out as they could.
I mean, it's working. And like you
money.
said, we can't blame them. That's what's getting their money. And hopefully it doesn't shape, just like mobile gaming, and mobile gaming is more profitable in many ways than having a whole developing team come and build a giant studio, kind of like Diablo 4. People wanted Diablo 4, but instead they made Diablo whatever, the mobile game. And that's where the market goes because that's what the most profitable aspect is. And I just hope as a group, as we push to the next generation and we push to a more collaborative society of gamers, making gaming an actual profitable venue such as esports and things like that, making it even more next level. I hope us as a group can help get rid of these types of things and basically suggest to the developers and to the business people of the game industry that we want a better product, not just microtransactions to get that better product.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
So,
all in all, though, dude, I think we got a lot of games coming out.
What are you most?
We'll try and do a podcast on Sunday or Monday.
Yeah,
We'll have a good idea of Anthem, because we're definitely gonna play Anthem. And if you're listening, you can actually start downloading Anthem. Well, when you guys
tonight
at
midnight.
Obviously, you can download it tomorrow for sure, Friday, but you can download it tonight for get it started.
Yeah, and so I just wanted to ask real quick: is that's pretty much outside of these shooters? Is Anthem your next go-to, your next backlog item?
Yeah, I think we're gonna play this show as Anthem. I really like the gameplay, the way it feels, the way it looks. I like the character, Storm. I've always played the wizardry type characters in every game I play. I mean, as far back as the original Borderlands. That's my favorite game of the time. I always played the top characters. As soon as they unlocked it, the demo, Storm,
that was it, huh? Well,
as soon as as soon as I wake up, or get off work tomorrow, or actually it comes out Friday morning, we're going to jump up. Me and Adam's going to jump on some. If you're off work or you're at home, we're going to jump on some Anthem, dude, and stream for a while, and hopefully. Yeah.
So, unfortunately, I won't be able to play this weekend. Crystal and I are going down to Orlando to see an old friend, and so I'll be gone for the better part of the weekend. But you can get Adam out of bed and have him come on over or do a podcast with him, at least talk about Anthem. Maybe talk a little bit more about Far Cry if you want to get one out. And I'll have my laptop with me. I can push it out if you end up doing it. Otherwise, I won't be able to do another podcast till probably Monday. So up to you. But either way, be on the lookout, everybody, for that game. I think you'll be, based off of what I played, I think you'll enjoy it if you don't sit there and just trash it without even trying it. Not every game is Fortnite.
Give the game the weekend before we start trashing shit.
Yeah, and give these new IPs a chance. I mean, if it turns out that Anthem is just a money grab, but I mean, when you go back and just last thing here on this, when you look at the Division 1, the game itself was pretty shallow on what it had to offer, but a lot of people worked hard on that game. It looked beautiful for what it was worth. It was the environment. These are new games that are trying to become the next big thing. And the only way to get there is to start off with something that can build a revenue stream where they can put even more money into it. Big companies are not going to put millions and millions and millions of dollars into something unless they truly believe in it. Call of Duty didn't start as the most amazing game you've ever seen. It grew into the most amazing game. Fortnite just happened to, it's been in the works since 2011. So give these games a chance. Don't go in expecting the best game you've ever seen on a new IP. But at the same time, take a look at what they're developing. It could be the best game you've ever seen. So that's all I want to say on that. I have one other quick thing. I'll just take 1 minute to say this because we're going to wrap it up here in a moment. But I talked a couple weeks ago about the carpal tunnel that I've been getting in my wrists, and it's only gotten worse. I'm going through a lot of tests and studies right now to figure out exactly what the hell is going on with my body, my arms. But one of the things that in talking to the doctor today is the driving my carpal tunnel is resting my elbows on the corner of my desks or maybe even the armchair, even if my armchair has padding. And so I have triggered the ulnar nerve, which is the funny bone. Whatever I've done, I've triggered that to basically be inflamed at all times. So if you hit your funny bone and you get that weird feeling, well, that's been my arms for the past 3 or 4 weeks, or I guess 2 or 3 weeks. But it's been getting gradually worse. And so my arms from my elbows to my fingertips go numb, and I get a very weird pain. It's like a funny bone pain, but it's persistent. And so stop putting your elbows on the corners of your desks. I mean, if you do that, don't. I do it, and I'm thinking that probably is what triggered it. And I can barely use my controller, and it sucks. So I'm hoping to get this taken care of quick. But that's my little shout out to anybody who does rest their elbows while playing or typing. Be careful, because this is not a good feeling.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, it sucks, Joe.
No, man, I can only imagine. I've had hand surgery because I had 2 ganglion cysts in my left wrist. I was out of commission for probably 4 or 5 weeks. I couldn't use my hand. And right now on my right wrist, I have the biggest cyst I've ever had. It's giving me hellacious problems, but
Jeez.
I got games to play, bro. I got shit to do in my life. I got time to get it.
Yeah.
More power to you, buddy.
Well, I look up to you and all the things you've been through, man, and I know I'll get through it. And we'll just have another.
We should change the name of our podcast. Two broke ass dudes. It's like episode 4, I was in the fucking hospital with a broken back.
Yeah, if
now,
you haven't listened,
43, you're about to have hands.
I'll tell you, yeah, it was episode 3. I remember we had the 2, and then episode 3 is Where is Joe? I mean, if you recall, for those longtime listeners, but I know we have a lot of new listeners. I mean, seriously, we had started this podcast. We talked about what we were going to do. We were so fucking hyped. I mean, Joe and I had been talking about this for like the whole year prior. We finally did it. And episode 3, I'm over here sitting behind my computer. 9 o'clock's rolling around. I'm like, where the fuck is Joe? Where's Joe? And I'm like texting him. All of a sudden, I get a video call. And he's sitting there in a goddamn neck brace in a hospital with tubes coming out of his face. And I thought he was pranking me. I'm like, what is going on, Joe? And he's like, not going to make it to the podcast. Fell out of a tree, broke my back. And
yeah, true story, too. That's what's funny.
Yep. And he was up and doing the podcast like 3 days later. And we've been at it ever since. I mean, we're going on. We started, actually, if you look at Anchor, it shows August, but that's because we migrated over. We had already done a couple of episodes, I think in June and July. And so, 4 more months and we've got a year. We're 40-something, 43 episodes in, working our way to 50.
I mean, I've looked at some statistics, dude, and we're actually ahead of the game, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So one of the things I need our listeners to do is reach out to us. Let us know you're listening. Let us know you're or whatever. Go to our YouTube or whatever. Go to his Twitch. Go to my Twitch. You got Team Emar Gaming YouTube. That's Joe. You got Team Emar Gaming Twitch. That's Joe. You got the Backlog Exposed Twitch. That's me. You got the Backlog Exposed YouTube and Facebook page. That's both of us. And, the anchor.fm/the Backlog Exposed. thebacklogexposed.com. But most importantly, and I think, a lot of people say, go wherever you listen to your podcast and rate us. Well, you can't. You can't just rate podcasts on every app. I've learned that. So rather than tell you just to haphazardly do that, if you listen in a Google device, you can go to Google Podcasts and you can rate us there, or Google Play and rate us there. Or if you're on an Apple device, you can go to iTunes and rate us there. Those are the most impactful and important places because they don't give us the opportunity to even see our statistics on those platforms until we've had enough reviews and listens on those specific platforms. And when there's 100 different ways to listen, they're not all going through the Apple or the Google platform. So we only have to rely on the statistics we get from our podcast company, which is Anchor. And they're giving us some great statistics. Hopefully even more soon enough because Spotify has bought Anchor. And we're already seeing the benefits there, I think. So definitely go in and rate us. Tweet at us at the Backlog Pod. Instagram at the Backlog Pod. Just let us know you're listening. I know people are listening. I can see. I mean, we're making revenue off of these ads that we're running. Not a lot, but I can see that people are actually listening through the whole episode. And that's a phenomenal thing. It's a great feeling. And like we were saying, Joe, earlier,
I really enjoy it.
When you look at, if you had 100 people watching you on Twitch, well, get this. We have hundreds of people listening to our episodes now. And so if you had a room full of people in person, 200, 300 people just standing there listening to us speak. I mean, come on. I went to Jay and Silent Bob. Crystal and I went there a couple months ago and watched Jay and Silent Bob do their podcast live. It was like a comedy show, but guess what? There was maybe 100, 150 people there, right? And obviously millions or however many listening at home, but I wouldn't mind doing a stand-up podcast in front of 150 people. Feel pretty empowering. So thank you to everybody who is listening, but please, even if you don't want to, just tweet at us, say, hey, I heard you. Can't wait for the next episode. Anything, just to let us know you're out there. And so
give us more motivation and more drive.
Yeah. And if you have a topic or anything, if you're like, hey, I'm sick of hearing about these 3 games, give us another game, give us an idea. We're gonna get into it all, but we want to hear from you. So, Joe, what else you got before we wrap it up? What do you got? Who do you love? Who do you love, Joe?
Who do you love? That's a good song, by the way, but I don't want to get into.
Well, let's
shout out Lucid Sound.
If you can think of one person, one person you love. If you can think of one person you love off the top of your head, who do you love?
I love my wifey.
Oh man! Now, your wifey's awesome.
She's a gamer too, by the way. She's a badass gamer. If we ever get into a duo where it's 2v2 in Call of Duty multiplayer, I'm getting her. She's gonna fuck y'all up. Saying.
She's pretty good as a squad mate too.
She can whoop people's ass in Fortnite. You give her an AR in Fortnite, you're fucking dead, hands down. Matter of fact, go to my YouTube channel, TVMar Gaming, YouTube. Look at the video where me and the wife win a duo. She's bad, man. She's pretty good, man. We've won some games. She had a bunch of wins on Fortnite, from what I recall. And she's got that. When she gets to laughing, some of those videos, you just get let it go. Finish watching the video. It's okay. She gets that crazy, I don't understand laugh what goes on in that head of hers, but let it go. We win, good. She's okay. She takes her medicine when she needs to. It's fine.
And if there was one game you could have for free that you haven't bought yet, what would it be? And let me guess.
One game that I get for free.
Is it Assassin's Creed?
You damn right it's not. I don't know, man. That's a good question because a lot of these games that I want I already have because me and Adam buy everything. But
okay, let me change that then because you just you have a pretty good library. If there were one remake right now from any game in history that you'd like to see in current generation platform, what would it be? And don't say Assassin's Creed.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. If they were to bring out a fucking new Contra, oh shit.
Oh man, that would be.
See, fuck these new games, man. They need to go back to the original, old school shit and bring out Contra. Just saying.
I'm 100% behind that, man. Let's start a trend.
Dude.
Contra. Hey,
what was that? Was it Konami?
Yeah.
I'm calling. I don't even think they're in business anymore. We're gonna call them, get them out of the grave. Y'all need to fucking make it.
Hey, when you tweet at us, tweet #Contra remake. Let's get that. Let's get that trend in top 10 worldwide.
Dude, people would shit. They'd be like, "Where the fuck is? When's Contra coming out?"
Yeah.
Fucking
Actually,
Backlog Exposed said they knew somebody and Contra was coming out.
Well, that's the funny thing, man. I have an inside scoop. Contra.
Oh shit.
2020.
Contra 2020.
Let's make it happen.
Hey, I'm not mad at you.
Well, Joe, it's been awesome talking to you. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to put some ice on my wrists. I'm going to throw on my braces. I'm going to edit this audio and pump it out to the masses. You got anything else to say, or are you just Joe?
Shout out real quick. Lucid
yes.
Sound. They hooked me up with a couple nice headsets. I use the LS31s right now. Wireless PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
Hey, how long do those
phenomenal
wireless
headset.
headphones last, Joe?
Like battery life wise.
Yeah. If you're going to throw them on, can you play for a couple hours without having to charge it?
I think I have about 14 hours gameplay on this one before I charge it.
Holy shit.
And,
yeah, my
what's
Astros
cool about
don't have that.
what's cool about the LS31s is when the other headsets that I've had, when they die, they die. They just fucking cut out. The LS31s have like a 1 hour built-in bell. Like you'll hear it beep the first time, and that means it's going dead. And like every, I would say 10 to 15 minutes, you'll hear another beep. And finally they'll cut out. But I played. I'm pretty sure I played 10 to 12 hours. No shit. Before I even heard that beat. And that's straight out of the box. I didn't even charge them when I got them. I just threw them on and started playing. I have 2 sets of LS20s. One's in my daughter Kaylee's room, and then one's in my son Caleb's room. And let's just say he is an angry gamer like his dad. So there's been a few times those headsets have hit the ground or hit the dresser, or and they're still going strong. I'm telling you, man, Lucid Sound's a great company. Use promo code TEAMEMAR, save 20% on your purchase. I've converted a shit ton of people over the last year and a half. I've sold about 35, 40 headsets, and majority of them was, Astros, Turtle Beaches, PlayStation Gold. They lived by them, said they were the best headsets ever. I got Lucid Sound in their house now, and they haven't. Let's put it this way: no one's called me and said you're an asshole. These suck. Out of all the headsets I've sold. So
I'm waiting for Lucid to hook me up and put me on some new Lucid Sound headsets, because my Astros cut out after about hour and a half. Man, I have to literally keep the damn the USB plug in them. They're supposed to be wireless, but literally, I mean, if I take them off in the middle of a game, doot.
Well, Xbox One. If you're an Xbox One player, there's not very many headsets out there at all that's wireless for the Xbox.
Yep.
The LS35X is strictly Xbox One and PC. It's 100% wireless. There's no cradle. There's no cords. There's no chat cable. The LS35X is 100% wireless.
That's sick. That really is. I mean, that's an actual.
Well,
awesome.
Xbox One doesn't use Bluetooth.
What do they use? Their own algorithm?
PlayStation uses Bluetooth. Xbox One uses, I can't think of the terminology they use, but Lucid Sound put it in their headset just so Xbox One users could have a no-shit wireless headset.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man, other than that, that's all I got. Thanks for hanging out, chilling for the last hour or so, and thanks for listening, guys.
That's right. I'm Kevin.
I'm Joe.
And this is
Backlog
Exposed.
Dude, I gotta pee so fucking bad. Dude, I gotta pee so fucking bad. So fucking bad. Fucking bad. So fucking bad. Dude, I gotta pee fucking bad. Dude, I gotta pee so fucking bad. So fucking bad. Fucking bad. So fucking bad. Dude, I gotta pee. Dude, I gotta pee. Dude, I gotta pee so fucking bad. Dude, I gotta pee so fucking bad. So fucking bad. Fucking bad. So fucking bad. They're gonna pee. 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 They're gonna pee. So fucking bad. So fucking bad. Fucking bad. So fucking bad. They're gonna pee. They're gonna pee. They're gonna pee. They're gonna pee. 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 Fucking bad. Fucking bad. Fucking bad. Fucking bad. Fuck. They're gonna pee. Fucking bad. They're gonna pee bad. They're gonna pee. They're gonna pee. Fucking bad. Fuck. They're gonna pee bad. They're gonna pee bad. They're gonna pee. 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 Gonna pee bad.